executive producer and writer for What We Do in the Shadows on He previously wrote for FXX's Man-Seeking Woman. Stephanie Robinson!
Yeah. That's quite the resume that you have going on. It's only gonna get bigger. So let's bring this ego down. So what does it feel like to be back at Emerson amongst the students, right?
Actually, I was saying this earlier. It kind of feels like I haven't left. Like it's so weird.
Yeah.
I got sort of like sucked into this weird wormhole where I'm like, half of me wanted to just like run into Walker and make sure I didn't miss the elevator.
That's the thing. Yeah.
But yeah, it feels great.
Yeah. So what kind of things did you like do while you were here?
Oh man, I went to school. I took all sorts of classes. I had a radio show with a friend. I totally forgot about that. I was in a sketch comedy troupe, the Girly Project.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did all sorts of things. Yeah, I did some student films and obviously improv. I sort of bopped around for sure.
Yeah. So like all of those things factoring in, how do you feel that like Emerson has prepared you for the career that you have now?
I think it prepared me pretty much completely. Obviously with the classes and stuff like that, like I was able to, as sort of everyone has said before, learn how to write a script and different types of scripts, and I learned how to write a feature and tell a story, and again write a pilot and all sorts of things like that. So I think it prepared me technically, but also, the connections here and the friends that I've made have been so great, and so many of the people that you meet with, or sitting with, and go to school with, they end up sort of being lifelong friends, and you actually, run into, your fellow students out in the world, and, in the industry, which is pretty great. But yeah, I owe Emerson, I think, like, probably my job. I had a class with Marty Cook my senior year. It's great. She's great. She knows what she's talking about. But in that class, she actually brought in this man named Richard Arlick, who is really great. He used to run the lit department at the Gersh agency, and I was a senior, and because I met him in her class, and he had gone to Emerson. When I went out to Emerson in LA, I reached out to him and got an internship at Gersh. And then while I was interning at Gersh, I met my agent, who also went to Emerson. And
it
was like, literally like so much of my success I owe to just the network and such great people who were so open and so smart and talented.
Yeah, I know that was a big factor for me when I was coming here. Like, why I chose to come in here. So my next question for you is, now you're talking about Emerson has given you, it gave you the tools that you needed to be able to, write a script and practice during whatever. So I'm wondering, in today's script writing climate, what do you think are what do you think is more effective these days? Is it an original pilot, or is it doing a spec script of something specific to that network?
I think it's hard to say just in general, because there is so much TV out there and there's so much content that sometimes it's not even scripts at all. It is like a Twitter following, or it's it's joining a particular improv group or stand-up, or I think there's so many different ways to get people's attention. But I think specifically with scripts, I always find that writing an original pilot, at least these days, is helpful. I find that when I'm in rooms, showrunners and writers and producers and networks really want to hear a specific voice and point of view, and they're sort of less interested if you can regurgitate what came out of your mind. They're more interested in like, okay, who are you? What's interesting about you, and how are you going to be, helpful to maybe, this particular writer's room and your perspective, and you really are sort of joining a team, and you sort of want to know who your teammate is. So I always find that,
writing an original
is helpful, more fun.
Yeah. So originally started, working with FX, and you got in with like an original pilot. So,
Yes.
I mean, clearly it worked for you. So I'm wondering now, what you're talking about crafting your voice and everything. What were some of your inspirations going into the script writing business?
There's all kinds of things. I really I love Austin Powers. The first Austin Powers. I probably watched it so much as a kid when I wasn't supposed to, and it was just one of those things that was highly influential. Stuff like that. I'm a big fan of this, sort of absurdist experimental comedy, like Mighty Boosh, Arthur Renge, things like that. British comedy. All sorts of things too. All kinds of movies. I'm sort of into these big high concept, like Amadeus type, period pieces and things like that, and the Sense and Sensibilities, and all. I sort of absorb everything, so it really is sort of a mixed bag as to what has inspired me, and for what reason. And I think that's sort of, luckily reflected in my work that I get to do all different kinds of things. Where you have Atlanta, which is sort of, it's funny, but it's also pretty absurdist and surrealist and dramatic, and what we do in the shadows is very silly, and then the features that I'm writing right now are, period pieces, set in pre-revolutionary France. So it's it's helpful, I think, that, sort of being attracted to a ton of different things for me is at least been pretty great.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if you can give some of our audience and some of the students that we have in the house today, some insight into what it's like to be in a writer's room. What is it like to put your voice into something?
It's different. It's definitely different from writer's room to writer's room, and there's sort of not one way to do things or one way to approach it. For Atlanta specifically, it's a very sort of lax writer's room. We all hang out at Donald's house, and it's a lot of us just sort of hanging out, watching TV or looking at the internet, or a lot of our inspiration does come from the internet, and we have a text thread where we do just pretty much every day just text tweets or videos, and so that writer's room is sort of very relaxed that way. It is, it does sort of feel like a family more than anything else. There are sort of a lot of arguments, and we do, depending on different shows, we have lived together in one house, and so that's been kind of great, and it's sort of it's a very personal, I think, autobiographical approach too, because the majority of us did grow up in Atlanta.
And that helps.
Yeah, I know, it does help to know. You know what you're talking about when you're writing a show called Atlanta. Maybe you've been there. But yeah, and something like what we do in the shadows, again, is very silly and very high energy and very, it is a lot of riffing, and it's a lot of, dumb jokes, and, it's just sort of a different structure. But it varies from show to show to show. I worked on Man-Seeking Woman, and that was, again, sort of run more like a machine. The showrunner, Simon Rich, is a very, very smart writer, but he had, spent a lot of his years early years at SNL, so I think he sort of ran the room with that in mind, and so it really just depends on who's sort of in charge and what the tone of the show is, and you sort of absorb that energy and put it into, whatever you're writing.
That's quite frankly incredible. Stephanie, you have been so insightful. Thank you so much for being here with us today. You're going to join us for the group conversation.
Yes.
Of course. So, thank you so much again for being here. Stephanie Ross.